It is my honor and privilege to bring before you Kate Celiz, Hard Z. For those who don't know, Kate is the widow of Army Sergeant First Class Christopher, recipient of this country's highest honor, the Medal of Honor, unfortunately posthumously. She comes tonight to talk to us and to address us. Before she has a chance to come to the microphone, I would ask our commander and the president of the Ladies Auxiliary to please come up and bring greetings. Ladies first.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I have to pull it down. I'm too short. I would like to bring greetings from the National Ladies Auxiliary, Jewish War Veterans of the USA. We are all so glad that we're here together at an in-person function. And we are proud to help in whichever way we can. The posts, the national, every way, the museum, and we are happy to be here and we're glad you're here too. On a personal note, I want to thank you so much for your sacrifice. As a member of the Ladies Auxiliary, we believe that you are part of us too, and we want to welcome everyone here. Thank you.
Good evening, Katie. On behalf of the Jewish War Veterans of the United States of America, I extend a warm welcome to you. We are excited to hear the story of Chris, and we're honored to have you in our presence. So welcome. Thank you.
Sergeant First Class Christopher Celiz was an Army Ranger through and through with 175. The Rangers lead the way. On July 12th, 2018, nearing the end of the fifth deployment, Sergeant Celiz was leading an operation in the Patika province of Afghanistan, not a very friendly place, to clear the area of enemy forces. Attacked and pinned down by a large force, the sergeant exposed himself to the enemy fire in order to retrieve a heavy weapon system that allowed his team to fight back and reach the secure location. During the firefight, a member of his team was critically wounded as they called for medical evacuation. But as the rescue helicopter arrived and began taking fire as well, the sergeant knew time was critical to get his wounded teammate loaded and treated. So he once again, knowingly and willingly, stepped into the enemy's crosshairs. Sergeant Celiz used his body as a shield for the aircraft and his crew against the heavy incoming fire. The helicopter began to take off and he put himself directly between the cockpit and the enemy, ensuring the aircraft could depart and sustaining what would prove to be a mortal wound. He knew he was hit, but he waved for the aircrew to depart without him. In the face of extreme danger, he placed the safety of his team and his crew above his own. I can offer no better encapsulation than the words of the U.S. Army ambulance pilot in command that day. He said, quote, "Courage to me is putting your life on the line to save the life of another, as demonstrated by Sergeant First Class Chris Celiz, who died protecting my crew," end of quote. Christopher Celiz was courage made flesh. Today, we add his name to the elite vanguard of American warriors who generation after generation have strengthened and inspired our nation with their unwavering bravery and service. His legacy lives on in the lives he saved, the teammates he mentored, and the memories he made with his beloved wife, Katie, and especially in their precious daughter, Shannon. Thank you for sharing your dad with our country, Shannon. We'll never forget the debt that we owe you and your whole family.
In December of 2021, my late husband, Chris Celiz, was bestowed the prestige of receiving the Medal of Honor. I often reflect on how and why Chris took the actions he did to save the life of another, only for himself to be killed in action. While I do not have the answers as to why, nor do I have found what most referred to as closure, I find some comfort in knowing that Chris will never be forgotten by those whose lives he has touched. Chris lived and breathed the Ranger Creed motto, "Rangers lead the way." While he always strived for excellence in his everyday tasks, he was not overly ambitious as a person. He believed in simple, maintainable goals. He pushed himself and those around him to always do their personal best. The three words that always come to mind when I think of Chris are father, friend, and family. These three words were essential to him. They defined him and shaped him to become the man whom most people nowadays regard as a hero. Aside from his silver hair and his roguish smile, Chris was probably best known for his leadership qualities. Chris strongly believed that the leadership was not simply giving orders. Leadership was leading by example and not asking something of someone you are not willing to do yourself. He believed in treating others, his work family, as his personal family, and it was important and necessary. He wasn't afraid to give tough love, but he also gave quick and praise for a job well done. He believed on hands-on learning and allowing others to learn from their personal own mistakes. Chris rarely discussed his work with me, but what he did discuss was his soldiers themselves. He would tell me about their families, their dreams, their goals, and how he hoped to guide them in a positive direction to better themselves. The fact of the matter is, Chris not only wanted his work family to succeed, but he did everything in his power to provide them to the tools to surpass his personal and professional goals. Chris led by example at home. He actively showed our daughter, Shannon, every day was an opportunity to do good, to better yourself, and to find joy in life. His teaching methods sometimes were somewhat unconventional. For example, I remember how he taught our Shannon how to share. Shannon was eating an ice cream one day when Chris asked for a bite. Without hesitation, she said no. So Chris took her ice cream and literally ate it in one bite without any warning. I could see the pain in Chris's eyes as she began to cry. Chris apologized for hurting her feelings, but then explained that we do not have to share, but we should always consider that someone else might not be as fortunate, so we should always think before we speak and act. A month or so later, Chris asked for another bite of ice cream. This time, Shannon hesitated, thought for a moment, and gave him a bite. This time, he barely took a nibble. Nowadays, Shannon is passionate about helping others and always doing what is right. I think a lot of that has to do with the lesson that Chris taught her. Chris led our family religiously as well. He was proud of our Jewish faith and found it extremely important that our daughter grow up with a strong Judaic education. He'd help her with her Hebrew and Parsha studies. He would read Shannon PJ library books and take us to Shabbat services. I remember in 2013 when Hanukkah landed on Thanksgiving, Chris took it upon himself to create a menorah, a turkey menorah. He nearly burned the house down 3 times, but he was determined and he had so much fun. It brought him joy to finish this prototype and share it with our congregation. I remember around the same time frame, our daughter thought meant that going to synagogue meant we were literally going to God's house, and that because our rabbi was always there, it meant that our rabbi was God. And Chris didn't have the heart to correct her at first, but eventually he told Shannon that Hashem and God were merely just best friends that worked together. She was equally disappointed and amazed at the same time. Shannon Chris was always able to find the right words and found a fun way to share his love of Judaism with us. Over the years, we created endless beautiful memories embracing our Jewish faith. The actions of July 12, 2018 took Chris away from us forever. I have no idea what thoughts crossed his mind when he decided to perform such an act of heroism. However, I do know that Chris followed his heart and his gut. He took a brief moment to consider the consequences. In true Chris fashion, decided to do whatever was most necessary to protect those he cared about. With the love and support of our family, our work family, and our congregation, Shannon and I are standing strong. We are grateful to find comfort in the knowledge that organizations like the Jewish War Veterans will always help keep the memory of Chris alive and well. Thank you. Rangers lead the way.